I am the chairman of the Mesa County Federal Mineral Leasing District. With me on this call are my two fellow commissioners, Quint Shear and John Justman. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Our executive director has asked me to call the roll of everyone who is on this call presently. So if you would do so at this time, I would appreciate it. Not all at once.
I'll start. Dusty Reimer.
Chris McInerney.
Sam Morgan, Caprock Academy.
Quinn Shear, board member.
Carrie Smaltz, New Emerson.
Cindy Burns, Monument View, Montessori.
John Justman, board
Reed,
member.
DeBeck-Flair.
Ken Haley, City of Florida.
Okay.
Sam Atkins, City of Fruita.
Mike Bennett, City of Fruita.
Andrew Collins, Caprock Academy.
Aaron Fonja, Mesa County Libraries.
Gus Hendricks, Grand Junction Fire Department.
Doug Shoemaker, City of Grand Junction Police.
Christine Madsen, Ike Bailey.
Miranda Bailey, New Emerson.
All right. Is that everybody?
Matt Rosenberg with Rosecap Financial.
Not Matt. Okay. I think that might be everybody.
Okay. Has the board had the opportunity to look at the proposed agenda for this meeting?
Yes, I have, Craig.
I would entertain a motion for, if there are no changes, I would entertain a motion for its approval, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. The first item, we've been called to order. The second item is the general public comments. We will hear that at this time.
If anybody has anything, just remember to unmute yourself first.
Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item 3 on the agenda, adoption of the March meeting minutes and the March grant workshop minutes. Has the board had the opportunity to look at these documents? And if so, I would entertain a motion to amend them or to approve them.
I would move we accept them as written.
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you very much. Item 4, staff report. Dusty?
Okay, I'm gonna share the screen here and just show you guys staff report. Was the staff report. Okay. So for May and April, we've been posting limitingly to our social media. We posted about the meeting minutes from the previous meeting that were posted on the website and the agendas being posted, the April meeting being canceled, and now all the details for our Zoom meetings. Grants requesting payment. We have the 2018 FT02 Grand Junction Fire Department with their Fire Department Training Center infrastructure improvements. They have a final grant payment request of $126,476. These are images from the grant itself that they show that it has been completed. It's quite the impressive structure with all the cement and everything that they've done. Our March invoices that the board approved were an invoice for Dusty Reimer for supplies and services for $3,884.54, Dufford Waldeck invoice for $1,040, an Eid Bailey invoice for $1,646.04. April invoices to for consideration. It's just going to be the one. It's Dusty Reimer invoice 146 for services and supplies for $3,774.98. We found the missing Dufford Waldeck check, so that one can be ignored. And then upcoming events, on June 17th, we have our board meeting with grant contracts that get awarded from here. And I'm proposing that our grant application workshop of reviewing the application itself for any changes would take place either before or after that meeting. So that way any changes that we may want to do, we can approve them before July, before our fall grant cycle opens on August 1st. We have a July 15th board meeting, and then on July 31st, our audit is due to the state of Colorado. We have started the audit process with Shadwick Steinkircher. Christine and I have been working with Lisa Heeman to do the auditing information for the district for the last year. And that is our update for our staff report.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the staff report as presented?
I would move to approve the staff report.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Item 5, review of financials for March and April.
For the March balance sheet, we have fund balance of $850,797.69. For the accounts receivable, I have zero balance on that. And then the permanent fund, we have $1,444,399.19. For the grants payable account, we have $189,476. And then net income of, net loss of $235,177.88. Then moving on to the profit and loss statement. We have legal fees of $160, contract services of $3,750, dues and memberships of $74.97, supplies of $58.55, then unrealized loss in perm fund of $149,947.46, and realized gain of $2,614.38, and also dividend income of $4,817.04. Then under the AP aging summary, there is a, we have for the Grand Junction Fire Department of $126,476. And then for the town of Palisade, we have $63,000. And for the next report, the budget to actual, it looks like for outside services, we're under the budget of by $58,825.50. For auditing expenses, we're under by $4,000. And for insurance expense, under by $88. And then advertising expenses were under by $3,000. And then we have at the bottom of that report, we have the unrealized loss in perm fund, which is loss of $223,560.95, and realized gain of $2,614.38. Then interest earned of 26 cents and dividend income of $6,489.67. And then lastly, we have the investment fees of $3,330.55. Okay, And then moving on to April financials. For the fund balance, we have $844,227.11. And under the permanent fund, we have $1,554,435.83. Then for the grants payable, $189,476, and net loss of $711.82. So moving on to the profit and loss. We have legal fees of $1,040, accounting fees of $1,646.04, and contract services of $3,750, dues and memberships of $24.98, supplies of $109.56. We also have unrealized gain of $111,720.95, interest earned 4 cents, dividend income of $1,644.07, and investment fees of $3,320.42 for a net income of $103,466.06. And for the AP aging summary, again, it's for the Grand Junction Fire Department of $126,476, and Town of Palisades for $63,000. So for the budget to actual report, outside services again is under budget for $52,389.46. Not much has changed for auditing expenses, insurance expense, and advertising expenses, and as well as for the other investment income and expenses. So that's it.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
No.
Not, I will entertain a motion to approve the financials as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the financials as presented today.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. Review of investment account for March and April. Matt?
Yeah, the permanent fund has an unrealized gain of about $100,000. Markets have bounced back, obviously, quite a bit from the financial statements you just looked at. And that puts us in the positive. I mean, yeah, we're up about 100,000 since inception. It's about a 6.5% return, which is really good. We did a rebalance on the portfolio on March 11th, 12th, which turned out to be really good timing. That was pretty close to the low. So what that resulted in was basically about $120,000 of bond sales, and we turned around and put that into stocks. And the stock that we've purchased since then is actually up about 20%. So that was a really good move. Feel really happy with that. And now we're at about 62.5% equity. Today it's about 63% equity, which is coming back up to our threshold of 65. So actually think things are really good. The portfolio will bounce back well before the total market does to its all-time highs, just because of those rebalances. And then, you know, the future is still highly uncertain, but we're watching. So. I guess I can take questions if there are any.
Talk to us about that international fixed income portion of the portfolio. Just explain the philosophy, if you will, behind that.
Yeah, the fund that we classify, it's a JP Morgan ultra short duration bond fund. So the ticker for that is at least most of that is JPST. I classify that as an international bond fund, but usually to be international, you have to have less than 80% US. So let's see, I'll give you the precise numbers here. That's mostly North America, it's 63% US. The rest of that would be Europe for the most part. So that's going to be developed market. And a lot of that's going to be like corporate bond funds and stuff like that. So like SocGen, National Bank of Canada, DNB Bank. So those are, even though it gives kind of the international, like, extra risk, that's an ultra safe, good yielding bond that I really like. It's slightly active managed by JP Morgan. So that's one we use a lot in the portfolios.
What's the duration of that fund, Matt?
Basically 0. That's ultra short duration. So, I guess 0.9, sorry, looked it up right there. So 0.9 duration on that.
Okay.
Yields about 2.4%, but forward looking, it's probably going to come down to about 2.1.
So you essentially treat that almost as the short-term portion, the cash portion.
That's a lot of our bonds. I mean, the total duration of all the bonds in our portfolio is 3 or less right now. We added some tips in. So we have short duration tips. We did that a few months ago. And so that's a nice inflation hedge for the bond portion. But right now the bond market's, I guess the best analogy I can give is, like I go golf with my friends and we'll bet on a hole or something like that. And then, one of us wins and one of us loses, and the loser usually pays the winner. And then all of a sudden you bring a friend in who says, don't worry about it. Right. And you're like, well, what does that mean now? How do we deal with that? So that's kind of what's going on in the bond market is the government's backed up and said, hey, we'll buy as many bonds as we need to keep things where they are. And it actually haven't bought any, but that's really scary. And I don't have a lot of confidence in the legs supporting the bond market right now. I'd like to definitely give some more time before we took any kind of risk by extending duration or even credit risk in the bond market. So.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Questions for Matt from the board?
I don't have any.
I will entertain a motion for the approval of his report.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Item 7, awarding of the spring grants. Dusty.
All right. So you guys have made this really difficult. This may be one of the toughest grant cycles I think we've ever had. So I have put together all the scores. The board has gone through and they scored them. And to kind of help this process along, I had submitted the scoring spreadsheet to everybody prior to this meeting so that everybody could have a look at it. But they haven't had any discussions until right now. So here is, I'm getting ready to screen share this with you guys. Here's how everybody ended up. Right here. So for the total scoring, just in the application process where they were, this is the summary of the total average score from all 3 board of directors right here. So for Clifton Sanitation District, Mesa County Valley School District, City of Grand Junction Police Department, DeBeck School District, these are how they all scored for the traditional grant applications. And then if we come down here to the mini grants, and you'll see DeBeck, City of Fruita, Monument View, Palisade Irrigation District, Town of Colburn, Caprock Academy, and DeBeck. So these were just in order of how they came and how they haven't been put in order yet. This is just everybody's score put into this spreadsheet, and this is how everybody ranked. So if we click over here to the summary, this actually kind of ranks everybody from highest score to lowest score for traditional grants and then for mini grants. So everybody can see everything on there. So just to remind everybody, we have $200,000 for this grant cycle. And my job after I put everything together is to give the board, we've kind of always done 3 different options just to get the discussion started for the board to make an award. So with that, you'll see that I have funding option A. And before I really dive into this, you guys can see, you'll see these percentages right here on the sides. A couple years back, the board kind of wanted to see how we could rank these apples to oranges and to make it more apples to apples. So the scores are based on, if you will consider like the grant application to be like a quiz. If you were taking a quiz out of 100, what would your grade be? And so that's what this is. This turns out to show you what your grade would be if this were like a test and we were just ranking them. So that gave them a better idea of like where the applications fell. So the 76 to 72 to 61% was based on the score out of all the total points that you could have gotten. And you'll just see the same thing over here for the mini grant application. So if you're wondering what these percentages are, it's based on total points that you could have gotten with the points that you did get to give you a percentage score. So if we were to do funding option A, which would be the total award amount would go to our top traditional grant application. It would be to the City of Grand Junction Fire Department. They would get the full $200,000. That's funding option A. Funding option B is if we decided to just award the money we have to the top 67% mini grant applications. If we did City of Fruita, DeBeck Fire Protection District, Cal City Irrigation District, and Town of Colburn, we could award these top 5 and still have about $22,054 left. And then funding option C, that would split it. It would give the City of Fruita, because they're the top scorer out of 82%, would get $50,000, and then the remaining $150,000 would go to the top traditional grant, which would be the City of Grand Junction. Now again, these are just options to get you guys started in the discussion. The board has full authority to award and grant however you deem fit. With that, I will turn it over to the board.
Thanks, Dusty. Comments from my fellow board members?
Craig, my preference is for splitting it up rather than doing the full 200,000 to our top on the traditional grant. But I would be open to different ways of splitting that up. That's just my preference.
Thank you. John?
Haven't decided what I like.
And if you need me to switch screens, just let me know.
I need to turn my volume. I can't hear Quint very well. I can hear Craig and everybody else.
I'm sorry, John. Am I too far away from the speaker here, Craig?
I can hear you pretty good.
Okay.
That's better. Is it going to be acceptable to the city to take a partial payment, or?
That's a question in the application, Dusty. Can you help us with that? How did they answer that?
Give me just a second, I'll tell you.
They listed total project cost of 600,000.
Hang on just a second, I have to stop share real quick. Yeah. There we go. Now it's working. Okay. Oh, that chat. Oh, Doug's here. He could answer. Also, yes.
Chief Shoemaker, the question that we're considering is if your grant request was 200,000, if we carved 50,000 out of that, could your project still go forward?
First, thanks for having me and for the consideration. So obviously it does affect it, but we certainly respect the wishes of the board and are happy with anything that's pushed our way. It's a big project that benefits a lot of us, $600,000 in total over the course of 3 years, but preferably starting sooner than later. So we would defer judgment to the board with regard to that, but certainly we're looking forward to it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. John, there's the answer to our question.
If that's the case, that the 150 for the firing range and 50 for Fruta would be fine with me. The railroad crossing.
Doug, or Craig, that was my thoughts. What are your feelings on it?
Yeah, I agree. I wish we had more money to go around. I really do. And that scoring was tight. Scoring was really tight. But we just have limited funding to go around, and hopefully that'll change down the road. But I see that option as the most viable one for us, the one that will do the most good for our communities and the board's mandate.
Well, if we all agree, I would make that motion that we grant $50,000 to the city of Fruta for the 16 Road Railroad crossing, and $150,000 to the city of Grand Junction for the police department firing range.
I would second that.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Carried. Thank you very, very much. Thanks for the good work, Dusty. I can tell that wasn't easy. It wasn't easy scoring them either. Unscheduled business. Is there any before us?
Just if you guys would be open to before or after the meeting to do an application process review next month.
Yeah, I think we should, because there's a couple of things that came out at me, and so I absolutely think that's important that we do that.
Okay. Is a preference before or after? I know our meetings are at 3, so would meeting at 2 o'clock be okay? Or a different time?
What day is that, Dusty? I lost that date here.
On the Wednesday. So it's going to be on June 17th at 3 p.m. Oh yeah, I forget we're in like summer vacation now, I guess too. So if anybody's got vacation, let me know.
Are you concerned that it will take longer than we can incorporate into a normal meeting?
No, I suppose we can incorporate it into a normal meeting. We've never done that before, but I don't see why there would be any problems with doing it with a regular meeting either.
I'm just not a huge fan of workshops. I know that they have utility in some aspects, but what we're talking about is taking formal action on amending our application. And I'm more comfortable doing that in an open meeting if my fellow commissioners don't mind that being under the normal meeting for June.
I guess
I was going to say, Craig, that there's no reason why you can't have a discussion of proposed changes. Dusty and I will try to come to you with some recommendations at that meeting for action. If you like what you receive, you could approve it at that time, or you could discuss it further, and we could make changes at a later date. But I agree, it's probably wise to have that as a potential action item during the regular meeting.
Well, and it gives us July as well before we actually implement a new application in August. So I know I wanted to at least have a 2-month buffer before we did anything, if we could get them changed before our fall application process.
Okay.
There's, according to my calendar here, there may be a conflict for all that week for me, but that is subject, I gotta double check it because it's been pushed out numerous times.
Okay.
So I'll have to double check here. I can probably know tomorrow what, if that's really true, but I have my whole week blocked off from me.
Yeah.
But I think it's been on there before and it's been pushed back, and I wouldn't be surprised if it got pushed back again, but maybe not. I can check it out and let all of you know.
Yeah, but just let us know, and if we have to move something around, we'll do so.
Okay.
That was all I had.
Thank you. So that's it. I would just like to, and my fellow board members can certainly speak for themselves, but I'd like to thank all the folks that participate in this process. I'd like to thank you very much for your applications, for your interest in the Mesa County Federal Mineral Leasing District. Believe me, if we had our preference, we'd fund everything every application that came in this cycle. They were all good ones. There were some emotional applications there, and I understand that. But thank you very much for being part of this and helping this community with this, issue of doing these grants and getting that money out there where it does the most good. So thank you very much for your interest in the Federal Mineral Leasing District, and we would encourage you to please participate again.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, would you like to add anything to that?
No, I could say it better, Craig. Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
I just want to say I want to thank everybody for applying. It's not easy trying to score these things, and everybody can't win. That's the sad part. Now make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Dusty.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.